Today about the future of our species and really the future of life. We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens. Within a century or two, Earth will be dominated by entities that are more different from us than we are different from Neanderthals or from chimpanzees. Because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. These will be the main products of the economy, of the 21st century economy. Not textiles and vehicles and weapons, but bodies and brains and minds.
Scan the human brain. We can now read thoughts. We can project thoughts. We can actually photograph what you're thinking of. And we can actually photograph a dream. Think about this. In the future, you'll wake up in the morning, turn on the switch, and watch the dream that you had the previous night. And then when you go to sleep, the machine just keeps on going and will print out images of what you are dreaming of. This is not science fiction. This is science fact. Using MRI machines, we can scan the human brain, divide it up into 30,000 dots, 30,000 locations of blood flow. We then put this into a computer which analyzes 30,000 pixels and creates a picture of what you're thinking about. This means that we will have telepathy, the power of magicians, the power to move objects just by thinking about it.
Augmenting human intellect is absolutely something that we're going to be doing. In a way, we're already doing it. There's a lot of talk about AI today, but there's another concept, and that's IA. So AI is artificial intelligence. IA is intelligence augmentation. AI was a term coined by John McCarthy, Stanford professor in 1958, and he said this is going to create supercomputers that are smarter than we are and evolving faster than us, and presumably replace us. IA was a term coined by Douglas Engelbart, a Stanford researcher, and he said, no, the point of all these more powerful machines is to create ever more powerful tools that augment and enhance human intelligence. I think this is a future of intelligence augmentation. The machines are not going to replace us. What we're going to have is a very deep symbiosis between man and machine.
We're looking at a whole new revolution in the way we view the human brain connected to a computer. Teenagers sending emotions of their first kiss, their first date, their first dance. They're going to go crazy sending all these mental images. Now you may say to yourself, this sounds like the movie The Matrix. This is a Hollywood movie. No, this is fact. We can now hook the brain with a computer chip to a laptop computer and send mental images and send our thought.
What's good, family? What's good? Please share the live. The topic is pinned at the top. Natural versus artificial. This is a very important live. Please share the live. My page is very censored. It's hard for me to contact a lot of my followers. So bear with me. I'm sending out invites. If you would like to share the live, please share the live. Once again, the topic is natural versus artificial. Very important topic, especially in today's time, people. But we can be deceived by things being so-called organic when it's actually not. So bear with me, people. And while we wait on people to come in, I'm going to play a short clip. But please share the live, my people.
On augmenting the human species into a new stage of evolution. The transhuman.
Transhumanism is the use of technology by humans to enhance their physical, psychological, and most of all, intellectual capabilities.
We transhumanists want to use science and technology to self-direct our evolution. There are lots of transhumanists now that don't even consider themselves transhuman. For example, people who have pacemakers or cochlear implants or hip replacements. These are technologies that we're using, and that is beyond human.
The idea of there being a transhuman is actually a very old notion. It stems from our longing for immortality. So there were attempts to extend human life.
Okay. Like I said, it will be a very short clip, but we're gonna go to the basis. My brother is now tapped in. Bear with me, I had to restart the live. So y'all bear with me, people, bear with me. So basically the topic is natural versus artificial, my people. We have a lot of natural things taking place, and we have a lot of artificial things taking place as well. What's good, my brother? What's good with you?
What's up,
Man, how you feeling, man? Where you been? Talk to me, brother.
Man, I'm over in the UK right now. Like I said, probably since you guys see me, I was probably a lot bigger, but I've lost a lot of weight
I see,
since
man.
then.
You looking great, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. I just went into a reincarnation phase, man, and I lost probably about 35 pounds since the last time you saw me. So, yeah.
I see, man. You look amazing. Like I said, you are
Appreciate
looking
it,
great. Man. You glowing as well, brother. What you been doing, man? What you been eating?
Really, I'll tell you what I did, man. I changed my whole diet. I started eating like 1 meal a day.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing a lot of fasting. I would go 2 days, 3 days fasting sometimes, eating 1 meal a day, cutting a lot of meat out of my diet. I stopped, of course, I really wasn't eating pork or beef too much before, but I just really went harder with eating more vegetables and just eating more alkaline foods.
Okay.
And, walking, running, drinking a lot of water, and basically not eating past a certain amount of time. So I try not to eat anything past like 7 o'clock and staying away from carbs. Yeah. So that's what it was, man. It's one thing to have it up here, but you got to have mind, body, and spirit. You got to have the whole totality, man. And like I said, with my job, they were, telling me, I was facing certain health problems, and I was like, okay, I got the knowledge, so I already knew what to do. It wasn't about like, oh dang, this is it. I said, okay, I have the knowledge. This is what I do. So I was like, man, I got all these herbs. Let me start putting them to use. And
exactly.
It paid off. It paid off.
Exactly. Yes, man. Example.
Yeah, you got to be lead by example. And enlightened people, man, it's like a lot of people, you see a lot of people, they have the knowledge, but they never fully utilize it. They kind of one foot in and one foot. Right.
100%.
Yeah, so that's what it is, man. But to get what your topic is, I see you talking about human intelligence. It's crazy you posted that because I had got a book before I left. Well, that was on human intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
And the thing about human intelligence is this is something that they've been talking about for years. I mean, basically taking the human spirit, because everything starts on a spiritual level, and the spirit is the physical domain, which some people may not know, conscious or subconscious, but basically what they're trying to do is take the spiritual etheric light body and place it to an artificial machine. They've been, even if you go back into the Bible and the Quran, it says certain things in the Bible about the Quran, how the temple of God is within you. So that spiritual genetic force that controls the body, the electronic grid, they want to place that into the artificial body. And you start reading about, I'm not going to go too much into the racial part, but you have certain beings out here that want to do things to increase the life force. So they're taking things, certain supplements, melatonin pills to increase the life force. They're trying to do come up with rituals and tantric drinks to increase the life force. They're trying to find ways to mix with other nationalities to increase the life force. So this is
Hey, can
this
you
is
touch on that a little more right there? That part right there.
far as mixing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what people don't understand is that certain bloodlines and certain ethnic groups carry certain traits. Not saying that other ethnic groups don't have, but they lack.
Yes,
So
sir.
what people don't understand is that when you have a melanin dominant and a melanin recessive being, the melanin dominant person gives off life and the melanin recessive absorbs the life. So this is how you get so-called mulatto and mixed children. Okay, this is how you get, mulatto and mixed children. So when you read into the Bible, you start reading about, certain tribes, they wouldn't mix with other tribes because whatever was in their bloodline, you would inherit it. Whatever was the culture, food, the diet, or anything. So this
So
is
if it
why
was cancer, if it was an illness, if it's okay, got you.
Why certain tribes would only mix within certain tribes,
Mm.
or they would only mix. If they did mix, they would mix on the father's side. You see what I'm saying? So now what they're doing is that when you have a melanin, okay, so if a recessive male mixes with a melanin dominant male,
Mhm.
okay, he gives off his genome pool to her genome pool,
Mhm.
and vice versa. So this is why certain ethnic groups pull and some ethnic groups push.
Got you.
Okay, and it's not so much a racial thing. This is just science, genetic. That's it. It has to be like, oh, I'm better than you or anything. This is natural DNA. This is when you kind of see like with Wesley Snipes and Blade. He was telling you what was going on subliminally throughout the movie. Because if you look at the movie, they didn't call him Blade. They called him the Daywalker.
Exactly.
And if you see the head villain, which was a European, they called him Frost.
Mm.
And he told Blade when they're meeting in the street, he says, you have all of our abilities. He said, you have all of our strengths, none of our weaknesses. You can walk in the sun, we cannot. Now, correlate to the people on Earth who can walk in the sun, who can't. Not saying that we don't get sunburnt, but it takes a higher amount of frequency for it to happen.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Not to cut you off, but for anybody who have children, this is a great book that relates to exactly what you were saying. A lot of people may not have seen this book, but this is a book that I bought my daughter, and it basically tells you about like the skin colors, the skin tones, and you know what I'm saying, how we are alike and how we are different and what makes us unique. So it also talks about the sun and how our skin absorbs the sunlight, as you can see. It also goes into the past where it talks about how, they like to let me get to that. Where we at? So basically where they changed the naming of the skin tone and classify people by their skin tone. It goes deep into it. So this is a great book that references exactly what you were saying, brother. It's just basically to add on to, confirmation to what you were saying.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. You can also get this book by Layla Africa, who he recently passed. But this is a book called Melanin: What Makes Black People Black. It goes great science detail of why. And this is why when you seen in the movie, to go back to Blade, 90% of the vampires in that movie were of Caucasian descent. And what were they after? Blood. They specifically wanted his blood because he had something that they didn't have.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And that goes even down into mixing, and like I said, it doesn't make one greater than the other. It's just the way the creator made everything. That's just how it was.
I agree.
So if I'm telling you this, and now if I'm telling you this, now you know who your original Jews was in the Bible. These so-called Jews you calling now Jews, they're not. They're Ashkenazi Jews.
Mm.
That pipe is smoking.
So look, so since we were on the hybridization topic, what do you know based on the past about mixing? We can go from mixing animals to mixing fruit. You get what I'm saying? What is the positive side of that, and what's the negative side of mixing things together? And
Okay,
I just want to add before you go in, because I know you're gonna go in, brother. I want to add that there is a book that relates to the Bible, a biblical timing, such as the book of the Nephilim. Not the book of the Nephilim, the book of Enoch, excuse me, that refers to the Nephilim and how they came and mixed and made it. And I'm sure you're going to go in a little further on that. But please, man, let me know what's going on with that, man. What's the good and the bad?
All right. The good about, so this is what happened. Going back thousands of years, most of the earth was melanin dominant. The recessive gene of so-called white skin comes from dark melanated people. You can have two dark people and they can make what is called an albino baby, which is it's a melanin, comes from a black person, but it's the genes, the melanin is resuscitated in. So what they started doing was, and the thing about it is, it was our ancestors that did it. This is a genetic defect. This wasn't supposed to happen. This is a genetic defect. So what they started doing is you take the first skin dominant black gene and then you would mix down. You keep mixing down. So you go from black to dark brown, then from dark brown to brown, from brown to light brown, and then you get, you know what I'm saying? So what they were doing was they were bringing this offspring. What they failed to realize is when they were making this offspring, it wasn't just taking their skin, their melanin away from them. It was taking their spiritual conscience away from them. Because the more melanin you have, the more civilized you are. You see what I'm saying? Melanin is in your skin, it's in your eyes, it's in your hair. You see what I'm saying? It gives you more frequency balance. This is why you see more people, not saying other ethnic groups don't have it, but this is why we say we have soul music, we have soul food. You see what I'm saying? Everything has life. Even when you go into fruit, you cut a fruit open, it's a seed.
Exactly.
You see, this is why when you see Europeans mix, they can only make their own genotype because they're already genetically recessive. This is not a racial thing. Keep saying this because you just saying this white. No,
genetically recessive. Scientifically proven.
You can, matter of fact, if any of my Christian brothers or sisters, you can read this in the Bible. This was the whole thing about Adam and Eve, even with the Canaanites in Hebrew and Moses, when he told Moses to stick his hand in the cloak and take it back out and it came back white as snow, that was a form of leprosy. This is what he did to Cain when he killed Abel and he put that mark on him. That mark was him taking his melanin away. This is why he had to run away and flee, because he was a marked man. Because if you're in Africa, back in those times, being a dark melanin person, you're not going to run away if you look like those people. So this man stood out because the creator took the melanin away from him. He's like, man, I can't be around these people. I look like a freak. What was happening is that you had a psychogenetic defect. Now, I'm going to fast forward. We're going to go into the Moors now. What the Moors were trying to do when they went up into Spain, they were trying to mix the Europeans back in. So what they were finding out is you could put a spirit there, but you couldn't put a soul there. So this is where you're hearing about the Caucasus Mountains and the Europeans being in the caves and coming out trying to civilize. Not all, like I said, not all Europeans are bad. There's a lot of good European people out here. I love everyone equally. But when I'm trying to explain what's going on with the cycle of life, and this is why you have this abstract between so-called black and so-called white. Okay. In the Bible, they switched the narrative around. When you read the New Testament about the so-called Jews, those Jews that they're talking about are the Gentiles, these Ashkenazi Jews being grafted in. because they were living in the hills of West and East Asia in the Caucasus Mountains, and they came down, and the Hebrews or the Habarus started teaching them the knowledge. They converted to Judaism. Okay, so now what you have now, what the Moors are trying to do is they're trying to put the so-called the seed of man or the Holy Spirit back into the European civilization. This was the whole point of them going up there, teaching them how to bathe, use soap, bring mathematics, science, all that, was to civilize them.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of people may not know that, man. You know, a lot of people think we were just born into a lot of this stuff. Like, you know, soap just was already here. And we just,
No.
you get what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand the origins of you know, a lot of things that have taken place. And referring to what you were saying based on this hybridization thing, I feel like nowadays it's more into trying to survive basically through genetics. I feel like whether it's the technological route, which is transhumanism, or it's the indigenous route, which is through natural original human genetics. So I feel like this bloodline that has been controlling this society for, you know, decades, possibly even longer. Excuse my language. I know I ain't put it in the context right, but basically, for these people who have been in rulership for so long, I feel like their time is up, and they know even their bloodline that they've been trying to keep together is weakening, and it's up. So basically, I think they're trying to live through either. What do you think they're gonna live through? Technology, or they're gonna live through natural or organic human genetics?
Okay, I'm gonna kind of explain that, and then I'll go into the technological side.
Okay.
So, with a lot of these ethnic groups, a lot of these Europeans and people that are melanin recessive, what they were finding now is that they couldn't take the sunlight. Sunlight to them is like, it's like kryptonite. Like it'll kill them. And matter of fact, you can look this up.
You talking about that? You talking about that up there?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure we talking about the right sun.
Them is burning them up. You see, and what they're doing is that they're trying to take melatonin pills. They're trying to mix in. They're trying to mix back in. So their offspring, like I said, when you mix with genetic recessive beings, you're increasing their life force and you're decreasing theirs. Okay, so this is why, like, I'll give you an instance. Bob Marley, they call Bob Marley half caste. Why do you think they call him half caste?
So he was mixed breed.
He was a mixed breed. They know this. All your artists, Hollywood actors, they know this, but they can't directly come out and tell you. They tell you through pictures and subliminal messages. Bob Marley was half caste. You see right now with a lot of art actors and that, they pushing the mixed breed. Look at basketball. You see
interracial couples and interracial sex.
Right, and like I said, it's not that there's nothing wrong with it, but what I'm telling you is that this caveman, which is the real Negro. See, a lot of people think being called, and I'm putting it out there so everybody can go do the research. Get you a regular dictionary, an unabridged dictionary, and an etymology dictionary, and go look up what black is. Go look up what Negro is. Go look up what a troglodyte nigger is. And a troglodyte nigger is a Neanderthal and a monkey and a pale and an albino African mixed together. This is what a Negro is, a European. It's a cave.
So you telling me that a black person is technically not a nigger? A melanated being is technically not a nigger.
You're not a nigger. You're not a nigger. Matter of fact, a black person is actually the original God on this planet. I don't care if you go to Hinduism. I don't care if you go to Egypt. I don't care where you go. The black man. I've been in places in Europe where they have old statues of Jesus Christ, and he is dark melanin. I've seen pictures of Krishna, dark as your hoodie, and they will all tell the original form of God, the original human being on this planet was the melanin, so-called black man.
Okay. So that hint why we actually absorb the true Son of God, which is the sun in the sky. So we absorb that energy from the true Son of God that has been reversed in the Bible, stating the Son, which is Jesus Christ. But we actually talking about this Son up here that most recessive genetic beings cannot absorb.
Right.
Okay. All right. I'm just confirming. All right.
Oh no. You right on. So what this European has done over a period of time, he's first started attacking not only the culture, but also your diet. So this is why you see a lot of brothers and sisters now, especially in low income areas, they got a chicken shop, a liquor store, a gun store. You know, the education is not equally transmuted throughout the community. You know, they're impoverished because the thing is, the food that you eat, you will become. So you start getting sick. You start having a lower thought process. You'll internally not only self-destruct yourself, but then you'll start lashing out at your brothers and sisters because there's not enough natural resources going around for everybody in the community.
I agree.
Okay. Fact number 2, like I said, just get you. I'm not going to sit here. I'm doing the research.
So it's no conspiracy. This ain't no conspiracy theory. Okay.
Matter of fact, you don't. This is coming out of Quran. Here's where it says right here. You see where it says? What does that say? Al-Kahf, the cave. Okay. This is in Surah 18 in the Quran. Okay. You know who it talks about there? Gog and Magog, which is of the Gentiles. And the Gentiles are the European nations.
Okay, so the Gentiles is referred to in the Bible are the Europeans.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And Ham and Shem, okay, Ham and Shem are the melanated bloodlines. Okay. Shem would later on become what you call the Hebrews or the Habarus. And Ham would be, you know, your Egyptians, your Nubians, your Phoenicians, your Eritreans, your Sudanese. These are dark skins. Ham and Shem always mixed, but they never mixed with the Gentiles. So the Gentiles in the New Testament, they come grafted in. This is why when Christ so-called comes on the scene, if you read the book of Matthew, he says, go not to the Gentiles, but rather go to the lost sheep of Israel. Okay? He said, I have not come for the Gentiles. I've come for my lost sheep, my lost children of Israel. Okay? It wasn't until later on when the Gentiles in the book of Acts got converted in. Okay? The Gentiles are referred as strangers. They're referred to as Scythians. Okay? Christ even talks to one of the Gentile women who wants to get her daughter saved. He calls her a dog. This is in your Bible. I'm not making this up. Not making this up at all. So the original lifeline, even Christ himself, when Christ and Moses, all them, they went through the Egyptian priesthood. If you trace it back all the way to the Genesis, they ran into a king from the Canaanites. The Canaanites are sons and daughters of the Hamites. And they got their wisdom and knowledge from Melchizedek, which was a Canaanite king. This was the whole point of the destroying Sodom and Gomorrah, because these people were living ungodlike, quote unquote. So now I'm gonna fast forward to what you were saying about technology and transhuman mixing. So when you look at the Bible, right, if you trace it, when they were eating directly from the source, fruits, vegetables, if you go in the book of Genesis, when God first created human beings, they weren't eating meat. They were eating fruits and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
When they started going to the meat diet, the life expectancy started shortening. So it went from 900, 800, then it went to 120. Because people don't realize when you eat flesh, when you eat meat, okay, you're eating a rotten carcass. One.
Death.
Two.
Human death.
Death. You're eating death. So there's no life there. Two, whatever that animal felt, this is why people get nightmares. Whatever that animal felt getting tortured, whether it was wrongly killed, guess what? You're downloading that. So you're feeling all the trauma, all the hate, all the discontent, you're downloading that to your bloodstream and into your etheric body.
Your subconscious as well.
Exactly. So now what was happening with the Europeans, because they wasn't mixing with Ham and Shem. The Gentiles, they were the outcasts. Okay, they were the outcasts. What they have tried to do is find ways to increase the life force. So make it artificial reality. Okay, I'm going to take a 9 and turn it to a 6. I'm going to make it quote unquote 666, which is human flesh. I'm going to make it the devil. So now I'm going to start hooking you up with batteries. I'm going to start taking the electronic grid and make it reality and make the natural mind an artificial mind. I'm going to try to robotically program a so-called walking Christ on this earth using genetic technology. So instead of having a natural cycle of life, I'm going to make an artificial cycle of life. To the point you're not even going to be human no more. Your thoughts are going to be hooked up to a battery.
That's deep. Wow. So basically, are we talking about the Gentiles, or are we speaking of other beings that's actually trying to merge with this technology?
Well, it's more than just one being. It's not just the Gentiles. You have other outside entities on the fourth and fifth dimension, if you want to call them aliens, if at that,
Or
extraterrestrials at that. They're also trying to bring that in, on higher realms and higher levels. I can tell you for one thing, if you're thinking that we're the only beings in this so-called galaxy or solar system, you're greatly mistaken, because I have seen UFOs myself many a times, and that is not a farce. They are very real. Very real.
So look,
I don't care.
My bad, I cut you off, brother.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You
I know
mentioned UFOs, and a thought popped up in my head. So I was doing a little research on UFOs or whatnot, and I went into the Antarctica history regarding UFOs. And Admiral Byrd, during his trip to the Antarctica, they also discovered certain technology that was ancient but futuristic at the same time. So it was technology that was from the past, but actually it evolved past what we have today. And they didn't know how to interact with this technology. They didn't know how to turn it on, how to activate it. And some of the technology that they confiscated, they still can't interact with today. But it made me think, certain movies kind of hinted at this. Alien versus Predators, when they tried to utilize certain technology, they weren't allowed to use the Predator's gun because of their genetics, because it was communicating on a genetic and a spiritual level. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, wow. So maybe with these UFOs and stuff, the reason why they can't fully control it is because it has nothing to do with just the physical thing, because you're traveling between physical and unseen dimensions. You know what I'm saying? So it can't be all physical. So that just made me think, like, Jesus, like, is they trying to re-engineer the stuff that we have already genetically been using on this planet?
Okay. I'm going to go back to the
deep, but It just made me think.
Christ always said, "For whatever I can do, you can do.
Mm,
For the work that I do are not of me, for they are my Father. For you can do what I can do, and you will do greater works than me." So what he was telling you is that the power of God is within you. You were born with it. It's just when we come down to this third dimension, we get dumbed down and we get programmed.
exactly.
From the when you out there playing with sticks and you be like, your parents be like, "Oh, who are you talking to?" You're like, "Oh, I'm talking to my imaginary." You're like, ain't nobody over there.
Exactly.
So period of time on the subconscious level, you start shutting that off. Oh, I can't be seen talking over here. They don't think I'm talking to myself. I shut that down.
Exactly.
So you start doing subconscious level. But people forget when you have a child, you're really getting a demigod getting dumbed down. Because you got to remember, your parents here on Earth might not be your parents up there in the Catorial planet universe. You got to remember, like, people don't realize when you have a child, a mother and a father coming together, that's like reincarnation. This is what they try to show you in Hinduism and other cultures, that when you have two gods coming together and then another being comes out and they're like, okay, this is a reincarnation. That's really a child or offspring. And humans, we do this all the time. But since we've been blinded with Western way of thinking and, I have to say, Abrahamic traditions and faiths, it's in there, but it's watered down because they're teaching that God is outside of yourself instead of within yourself.
I agree.
Now, you were saying is that Predator. If you watch the last Predator, not the last one, I think it's the one where they were in a pyramid.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were notice who the Predator wind up saving in the end. It was a melanated female. And what he need, what did she use? She used her genetic DNA, because what did she have that the other people didn't have? The Predator saw she had a pure heart. She was different. That's why he whacked everybody else and he didn't whack her.
No,
So it's not always a racial thing. You could be melanin and still be a bad individual.
Of course, most definitely.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't want people to get twisted when I'm talking this. I'm just talking from a science perspective, but I'm slowly going to raise it up to the spiritual level. Is that you can have all the diet you want, you can work out all you want, but if your spirit is not clean, you ain't going to make it very far.
I agree.
You're not going to. So with these UFOs, USOs, underground submersible objects, I've seen one of those too. They operate off of energetic frequency. That's what they operate on. If you read in the Hindu Vedas, they talk about this. Talking about, they describe them as Zuzumis and this. They show them like green men sitting on a cloud. Now we know there's no green man sitting on a cloud, but they're describing it the best way they can in their time and their era.
Exactly.
So this stuff has been around for thousands of years. Even if you go into the Dogon tribe, they say we come from Sirius. Sirius is a dualistic star constellation. You see what I'm saying? And these scientists are telling you, oh, these are stars. No, these are galaxies. People are like, oh, it's a star. No, these are different galaxies that are out there.
Exactly.
You see? And people, they keep telling humans that, oh, we're so advanced. No, we're behind. We're really behind.
Very behind. And it's not, I feel like it's because we suppress so much. But I want you to answer this comment. Somebody said, maybe some bad people have a good spirit. Does this work? So if you are a bad person, you have bad intentions, you're doing bad, but you have a good spirit, how does that work, my brother?
That doesn't work, because your spirit is what drives your body. The body's not gonna, if I'm sitting across from you and I slap you in the face for GP, the body just didn't just swing itself and slap you in the face. Something had to give my arm a command and come across and slap. What the 5-finger slave is, slap.
Exactly.
I'm gonna tell you something. Criminals, people that are in jail, no one is more greater or less than the next human being. It's the choices and the decisions that you make that give the third dimension view that you're a bad person. This is what separates good people from bad people, because good people know how to sit up there and say, okay, if I do this, this is going to happen. A lot of people look at things in what they call a split screen. It's one screen, but there's 3 different outcomes. A lot of people that have one track mind mess up. They look at one thing whole, and they'll be like, all right, I'm just going to do this, and next you know, their life is over.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? I'll give it to you like this. You ever been in a situation where certain people come around and you'll feel your heart drop? Like, it'll just like, you'll be like, it almost feel like you having a heart attack.
Yep.
Oh man, I don't like how it feels.
Bad vibe.
Everybody has this sense, whether you're good, bad. But this is what decides a conscious person and the person that's going to go down the wrong track. The person that has a subconscious mind that's tapped in, they're going to listen to that feeling in their heart. They're like, oh, this ain't good. I'm going over here. The flunky, the follower, they're going to be like, yeah, but Johnny over here, you know, that's my homeboy. I'm going to go with him. Next thing you know, both y'all locked up. You're like, damn, I should have listened. So, that feeling, that energy, that when you ever feel that swoop in your heart and in your chest, or you feel like it's pressure coming down your back, or some people don't get that. Sometimes the environment in the room changes. If you're in a cold room and it gets hot, or if you're in a hot room and it gets cold, that's your spirit, your energy grid within you telling you, hey, something bad is about to happen.
That's a fact. So
you need to watch out
from that, though.
We got disconnected from that. Now, there's some people that's born with it.
Yeah.
Some people that's me. I was born with that. I have it. My father has it. I got Indian blood on my family. My great grandmother was a medicine lady.
Yes, sir.
So you have certain people that were born. It's passed down through the family and the blood. And anybody can work on this. If you feel like a person like, man, I want to kind of see what that's about, practice meditating, eating high alkaline foods. I'm gonna keep saying this: eating a proper diet. That has a lot to do with it. If you putting rotten carcass and you're eating processed food and you're kind of eating McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Hell, your thought process is gonna be like shit. I'm sorry to say, but that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, let me add on to that. Another thing is a lot of people are unaware. If you got a seen body, a physical body, and you have an unseen body, both of them have to be fed. Both of them have to be treated. You know what I'm saying? And what we don't understand is once we consume food, it's being consumed for our spirit as well. You get what I'm saying? So we're not able to connect with our spirit once you're consuming stuff that's creating baggage. Once you consuming animals that, like you said, my brother, that have been stressing and they have adrenaline rushing in their blood, they've been shot up with all type of antibiotics, with all of this medicine that they've been shot up with, and we consume it, we consuming all of that energy as well. So it throws off us from being able to communicate on a spiritual level. We sometimes do it unconsciously. Like you said, when you walk in a room and you can feel the vibe, once you absorbing energy in a room, you know what I'm saying? That's deep. That's very powerful, but we're unconsciously doing it. When we go somewhere, oh, I can't be in here. It's not right, like you said. So it's something we're doing unconscious, but we got to work on it by what we consume in our body. You know, that way our body can react in a more advanced way when it's communicating with us.
You said, what about processed food? Okay. You want me to go in more about processed food? Okay, so this goes back to genetically programming. So the thing that these beings are doing by giving human beings processed food, especially melanated people. If you melanin, you got this, you need to stay far away as possible from processed foods. Because for one, you're not getting the proper nutrients. Two, a lot of these processed food, they have rotten carcass in it. Sometimes it's even mixed with plastic. They got a lot of
Metal,
genetic modified
everything.
chemicals, put everything. Anything you could think of ours. Pork, bacteria, insects, rotten carcass. This is why in the Bible they say stay away from eating pork. Because a pork, unlike a cow, it doesn't go through multiple stomachs. This is what they call from chewing the cud, going through multiple stomachs to clean out the food. This is why the Creator said you can eat these animals, but don't eat these animals. Because when they took the human beings, when they took Adam and Eve and the rest of human beings off the vegetarian diet, okay, they said they wanted to eat meat. So he said, okay, you can eat these clean animals, don't eat these animals. The reason being is because clean animals ate directly from the source and you would receive that energy secondhand. You still getting the energy, but it's secondhand now. It's not eating directly from the source. So this is why the Creator implemented fasting, to clean all the poison and the filth out the body.
So to add on this, you said about the pork, brother, and I'm gonna kind of connect it to the hybridization situation. So, are you familiar with just recently? I think it was in 2018 where they were approved of. The government had confirmation to start creating hybrid animals and human and animal hybrids, to be specific. And I'm gonna just share this video, and I want you to tell me what you think.
Okay.
Just to confirm what I'm saying. Where is it? Okay.
For right now. Yesterday, the Senate human chimeras living among us. It's only science fiction for right now. Yesterday, the Senate passed the Endless Frontier Act, a bill that commits nearly $250 billion to promote emerging technologies so that America can keep pace with Chinese innovation. Back in May, Democrats shot down an important amendment outlawing U.S. participation in research that would create human-animal hybrids, also known as chimeras. China's already doing it, announcing in April that an international team successfully
monkeypox?
monkey embryos and sustained them for 20 days in a lab. The only question is, what will they do next?
Okay. So it has been confirmed that they have been approved to start. Yes, sir. Yes. So tell me what you think about that, man. I have a lot of other content that I'm going to share. I'm going to show some videos as well, but I want to hear what you think about that, man. Since we talking about this hybrid stuff.
All right. So, like I was saying, you got to go back to certain beings being graphically made. Being graphically made. Being graphically made. So with these certain beings being graphically made, okay, they're trying to figure out where they come from. And they know that their time is limited. Like I said, this planet is only made for a certain type of people. It's like an animal. Certain animals got a certain habitat, got a certain environment.
Certain lifespan.
Certain lifespan. Certain human beings got longer lifespans than other human beings. That's just the way it is. So now what they're doing is that they're sitting up there trying to make the artificial with the unofficial, because they're finding out that they're hybrid beings. So now they're like, damn, well, how can we live like that? How can we sit up here instead of going from 60, 70 years? Most human beings don't even make it to 100 years now because of why? The food, stress, the environment, not being spiritually aligned. I'm gonna tell you something before I go into that. If your spirit, if you don't take care of your temple, which is where your soul reside in, you will die. The soul will leave because your body is tainted and it's poison. You will leave. The spirit, the soul will leave.
That's a fact.
This. Even when you speak, a lot of people think, oh, people that you see that have messed up attitudes, they always gossiping, everything that comes out of their mouth. Guess what? They're killing themselves. This is why you see most people that have negative energy or always constantly speaking negative words at them, they wind up getting sick. They always have some type of financial problems, some type of relationship problems. They don't live that long. They constantly getting accidents. They ain't got no money. Something always bad happening to them because they're speaking death. And if you speak death, death will find you. Trust me.
Right.
And whatever you do, and this is the laws of karma, whatever you do, if you don't pay for it, because it's like having credit with God, like having credit with a bank. Whenever you don't pay the credit card back, what they tack interest on you.
Yeah,
So if you don't pay for it, somebody in your family, somebody in your bloodline gonna pay for it. Your kids might even pay for it. That's like you got certain friends, right? They got kids, and their kids is always getting into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
They're running with the police. They always get misdemeanors and felonies. They always getting kicked out of school. You wanna know why? Because whatever their parents was doing, they didn't pay off that debt.
Generational karma.
Yep. As simply as that sounds, it's very true. And like I said, when you start going back into these spiritual books and reading them, read all of them. Don't let nobody say, oh, well, that's the Quran. You can't read that. Oh, that's the Bible. You can't read all of them.
That's a fact.
Now, to get back to what you were saying as far as genetically modifying, mixing breeds, this is nothing.
One more. I got one more video, brother. I'm tired of my bad for cutting you off.
Go ahead.
I have to because I know how a lot of people attention span are. So they have to see some content. They have to see these things taking place in order for them to consume the information a lot better. So
for sure,
I want y'all to see this, and this is very disturbing now. This is very disturbing, but this is actual real life scientific bullcrap to me. But I want y'all to take a look at this. And warning, it is disturbing. So let me play this. And I want you to check it out as well, my brother.
Okay.
All right, let's go. All right.
Prototype that is able to live in various setups. What's going to happen is that I'm going to connect the brain to the heart module to activate the blood circulation. Now, the lung is going to start breathing. You can see both organs are now collaborating.
Let me take this animation off.
I can add a kidney module. And if I add a limb module, it starts actuating the organism to move. Now it's looking for the optimal temperature, which is 30 degrees. If I add another limb, Oscar will recognize it and beneficiate from the possibilities.
Okay. All right. So look, brother. Did you see? Could you all see it? Could you get a good look at it?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, this study is not new. What they do, this is what I'm hearing from scientists based on the content that they're able to put out. They clone certain embryos from birth, and they utilize the organs within the embryos to then give them longer lifespans. For instance, with the pig and the animal, they grow the pig as an embryo until it gets full, and they take the organs out, and then they give it to somebody that needs to live longer, which we know who. We don't have to classify who needs these lungs from pigs. We don't have to do that. So, look, what I'm saying is it's like a push. You got one person wants to live through genetics, as I've been stating, and then you have another person that's trying to live through technology. And I think Elon Musk is the face of that, living through technology, transhumanism. So what do you think about that video, and how does that relate? You know what I'm saying? How does these videos relate to everything taking place and things that have taken place in the past?
All right. Well, I'm going to put it to you this way. All those videos on transhumanism and how look who was showing it. Look who was doing the demonstrations.
Good point. That's a great point.
I'll wait. Ain't no melanin people. Oh, I'm trying to live to be 500 years, 600 years. I ain't trying to hook a pig heart up to me with a battery on my back.
But why? But why? Why? My question is why? Why go to this extent to live forever on this planet? If you naturally designed to live forever in this realm, why? Why?
I'm gonna drop the bomb. See, I'm gonna give you the bomb that people don't understand.
Yes, sir.
And this is from a Buddhist perspective. Okay, this is from a Buddhist perspective. I'm gonna show you. I practice all degrees.
Yes, sir.
See, all degrees. I go in all of them. Bible, Quran, don't matter. What they teach in Buddhism, they say that life is suffering, which is life isn't necessarily suffering. It means that you're going to go through phases of life. You're not always going to be in this physical carnal body. Where you can, you will return. You're going to get sick. You're going to go old. No matter how well you take care of yourself, eventually you're either going to die from old age. You might develop sugar diabetes, high cholesterol. It's natural. Okay? Exactly. You might die from a regular death. The problem is that people will get caught on the third dimensional linear level thinking that the flesh, this body, is actually life. They think that being here on this planet, this third dimension, right, is actually life. And they can't fathom living outside of this third dimensional reality. Flesh to them, they think is real. They identify their love with their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their husband, their wife. I've lost them. They're gone. They're dead. They're never coming back. You have to remember that they were a spirit. They were a soul before they incarnated into this physical realm. All they did was go back to where they came from, and they will cycle again, and the Creator will spin them out again later on. This is why when you see in the Bible, Christ said, look, I shall return. Right? Yes. That's letting you know when he came back in the spirit. So that's letting you know that there's cycles to this life. The reason why you have people sitting up here trying to hook up a kidney to a lung with a battery, with a Duracell AAA battery and doing all this stuff right here is because they haven't accepted that this is only a period of time.
Who owned the battery? Who owned the battery, brother? This battery that's supposed to be lighting up that kidney and you know, bring it to life. Who owns that?
You're going to belong to a company. You're going to be a company.
How much battery do you have before these lungs and stuff go out?
And that's what I'm saying, because batteries don't last forever.
Because it don't look solar.
It's not solar power.
This is solar power. You know,
right.
But that what we just seen on that video, it don't look solar powered to me. So I'm trying to, you know, I'm my bad for cutting you off, but it's just, you know, it's just.
No, go ahead.
Think about.
No. But like I said, all them videos you showing about people trying to increase the life expectancy, trying to fill up a battery, look who's talking about it.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
I'm trying to get you to see. I'm sending you a subliminal message here. All right. This is what I'm talking about, is that you have certain beings here. They can't fathom of not being in this physical body. Even in the body, it says those in the Bible, it says those who live the life of the flesh and chase the flesh will always cherish the things of the flesh. But those who live in the spirit and cherish the spirit will always chase and fathom and desire the things of the spirit. Okay. Me personally, the reason why I'm set and I'm happy in life is because I've accepted that I will transcend one day and I will not always be in this physical body. You see what I'm saying? Once you accept that and you know, life will be a lot easier. Another reason why is that a lot of people that they haven't found their purpose. You have a lot of people here that are sitting up there like you're showing, trying to get with this transhumanism. Okay. It's because they haven't found a life's purpose. people get to a certain age. Oh, I'm 30, I'm 40 years old, I'm 50 years old. Oh, I'm getting old. Speaking death on himself.
Or like-
I'm getting old. I'm about to die. All right, let me go over here and let me go on Amazon, see if they sell the battery pack up there so I can increase my life force.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that no matter what you do, you're never gonna live past any time that the Creator does. You could have 50 battery packs hooked up to you. If the Creator says you're gone, you trip, you could be a robot, you trip and fall down. Your fucking robotic heart with all the organs and oil and shit pumping through your body falls out. Guess what? It's over.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. You right? So, hey, look, I'm trying to understand this too. So, you try most. We're gonna say these entities that's trying to prolong their life. Could it be because once the physical body sheds, we have something called a soul, a spirit, and we have a consciousness, and that energy moves on to the next reality dimension, however you want to put it. So what about these entities that's trying to live here forever? Do you actually think they have that energy force or that life force to move on? Or you think they just stuck here and they trying to prolong their life here?
All right, I'm gonna explain this to you. Y'all gonna have to do your homework. I'm not gonna go too deep in it, but I'm gonna send you down the path, and I'm gonna let you find your own way.
Yes, sir.
You have souls,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have beings that spirit.
So
the difference between a soul and a spirit is the soul. A person that has a soul has a moral compass, and they're more inclined with God. It's not just about fitting and blah blah blah. It's more so on a deeper level of passion, or so-called the gene of passion, or the passion of the Christ. Then you have beings, they have spirits, meaning like they can function, walk, talk, and they might feel, but they don't have that deep and genuine feeling that, damn, what I did was wrong. Case in point, when you and I see one of our brothers and sisters on the news getting killed, we don't have to know them from a can of paint. We'll be like, man, that's messed up. We'll be like, that. We'll be feeling hurt. It's us.
It's not a real
Flip the script.
feeling.
Right.
Cause you got
European.
Oh man, that's so sad. But it's no feeling in it. It's just a reaction.
Right.
So,
right. It's so sad, but that's just the way it goes. Now, I'm gonna say it again. Look who's feeling the pain, and look who's just, oh well, man, I'm sorry about your friend Billy.
Oh, the Buffalo shooting.
Sorry,
it's tragic. These guns. It's the guns. It's the gun.
It's the gun. Shot 10 times back. Even though he was going to 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee, and his brains were in the Slurpee when he walked out. Be all right.
Yeah. Normal.
Said again. Look who's doing these wild killings. I'll make two key points right there. Look who's talking about the genetic humanism, and look who's doing all these straight wiping people out. They're not shooting you. When they go in there, and it's no secret. I don't have to tell you what it is. Just turn on the news.
They shooting like this, though. They putting it in you. They trying to,
wiping out. See, that's the thing about us. We worried about holding down a block or getting back out somebody. They wiping out your whole bloodline. They going there wiping out everybody. Now, that man that walked into that school, that little boy that walked into the school and shot them little kids, we talking about kids. These kids still trying to learn how to say their ABCs, count, do basic math. Look who shot them kids. And he wiped them out. He didn't walk in there with a little 9mm or 38.
Yeah.
This man got a military assault rifle.
And they don't understand
like
the spiritual meaning behind these killings as well, brother. See, there's a spiritual warfare going on as well. See, if you notice, most of the shooters have been classified as conscious or nerds. They're into information. You know what I'm saying? So this is what the new classifying these shooters are. They're not dumb. They are driven by something. You know what I'm saying? They are very intellectual. You know, if you see the video I had posted of the guy in the Buffalo shooting, it was a guy previous to that day who had a conversation with the shooter. Now, this shooter was supposed to be racist, but he had a conversation with this black guy who looked pro-black, who was actually saying this guy looked like a genius. He had a genius shirt on. We were having conversations, and he looked very intelligent. He seemed very intelligent. But the news, you might be breaking up, my brother. Can you hear me?
Sorry.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
The news have been portraying this guy as a racist, but an intelligent racist. So I'm seeing that a lot. You can't just think about what's taking place. Think about the theme that they're setting up behind it. So they're targeting conscious people, because guess what? The average person that's looking at the news gonna say, "Oh, he's smart. He's a nerd." And these are the people that's shooting up people. It's the people that's learning this shit. What are they learning? What are they looking into? Then that's gonna dive into what you actually, you know what I'm saying, looking into. And they may classify him as a Trump supporter. You get what I'm saying? But what I don't understand is, you know what I'm saying, with the what was the name of that group with the Trump supporters? You know it.
Like I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
It went viral. Even they were talking about it on the news. Somebody tell me, what was it? Somebody know in here.
Yeah, help us out, y'all. Help us out.
What was that group called? It was a group, brother.
I think it started with a.
I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly. I do.
With that group, it basically shined a light on a lot of darkness that was taking place within, you know, our country that we didn't know about. But that group was then demonized based on a political point of view, not a spiritual or a common sense point of view. You get what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make is they classify you based on the information you're willing to receive as either you this, you know what I'm saying, you a Trump supporter, so don't pay attention to him, or he's a white supremacist, don't pay attention to him. They give you your own background, you know what I'm saying, to basically classify you as something that you're not. So that's what they did to the brother that was killed by the shooter, and that's what they did to the shooter as well. They get up background.
You right, but I'm gonna top on another thing. They also said it was a racial reason why, because he was sitting up there. Okay, what was going to happen? Like I said first, I'm gonna go back down the list.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Look,
go ahead. I forgot about.
Look who's sitting talking about increasing the life force on the videos he's showing. It's all Europeans. Look who's doing out all the killings, and look at why they're doing the killings. The first thing they said about this man was that he was afraid about what was going to happen to European, because it was more melanated people being born, and they were scared of a takeover of them being wiped out.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That is exactly what the shooter said. That is 100% fact of what that shooter said. I wish I could pull the video, but I'm just gonna play this clip while you talking, my brother. I ain't gonna add no sound.
Yeah,
I just want them
this
to
is
see.
why I'm look at this European. This is why I kept saying what I was saying. I was showing you guys book references. This is not a racial thing. These are what these people do. And the reason why they don't feel it, because some of them, not all, have a spirit, but they don't have a soul, because there's a spiritual, soulful disconnect. This is why they trying up there trying to hook a battery up to a kidney and an arm and doing all this crazy stuff. I don't know what the heck he got, a chicken leg up there or something, trying to crawl
like a small little human.
Yeah, like a voodoo doll or something.
Yeah. But man, look, the stuff they looking into, like what? I'm not understanding.
Then you also see these killings are coming more frequent, more relevant, and they're targeting innocent people. This also has to deal with energy. The reason why this guy also on a spiritual level killed children, I'm gonna tell you why. Because children have pure blood, they have pure energy, and they're not tainted. They're innocent. So this is why when you kill a child, that has even more spiritual effect because that blood is not polluted. It's not tainted. It's fresh. This is why you would always see, quote unquote, in the movies, vampires, they would always try to go after a child. They would always try to go after a baby.
That's a fact.
And look who the vampires are in the movie. Like I said, all you is watch and see from a third eye, this perspective, from a spiritual level. And everything we talking about, you will understand. You will begin to pull back the veils. And I will say one thing, I don't want to be too long, is that when we start coming together and having honest conversation, if people will start admitting and be like, look, yes, our brothers and sisters here in America are getting darn wrong. Because the thing is, you can't sit up here and say that we're feeling wrong when it's our people on the news constantly getting shot repeatedly. We're not getting shot with little 22s, little 38s. They coming in whacking us with military arm assault. They coming in with pump shotguns, M14s, you know what I'm saying? SMGs. These are combat weapons.
And that ain't even the worst part, brother. They shooting us with the weapons and then punishing us by trying to take our shit that they shooting us with.
Right.
And saying we did it.
And said we did it. And really, to me, on a political level, they're just trying to do that to, I know that gun reform is going to come and they're going to really try to start cracking down on that.
Yeah.
And I think to a T, yeah, I mean, they should, only because it's not the people, notice it's not people that actually have guns and are actually doing it lawfully.
Exactly.
These are people that they're getting it off the black market. They're getting it from a friend and they're using it. And most of the times you see that it's young kids that's doing it.
At least that's what they putting on the news, the young ones doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is about that, brother, is if it's the young kids that's illegally getting the guns, what good is putting a law in place to target the people that are legally buying the gun? This is not gonna, by you know, enforcing certain licenses or certain backgrounds that you have to purchase a gun, that only hinders the rightful owners of guns. It doesn't affect the illegal person that's gonna buy it off the street anyway. Or a person that's gonna, you know, get it 3D printed or something of that nature. So the laws technically does not affect the shooter or the killer.
No, it doesn't. The thing about it is that I think it's more of a spiritual type of warfare that's going on anyway. Because if somebody's going to kill you, they're going to find any means necessary to do it.
That's a fact. That is a fact, my brother.
You know, and you know, it's crazy because I have a guy that works with me. You know what I'm saying? He's actually from Africa.
Okay.
And he told me in Africa they don't have guns like that. In most places in the world, they don't use guns like that. America actually has some of the highest crime rates in the world. As much so-called freedom we have, I think we're in the top 3 for the most crime in the world, as far as amongst civilians. He said in Africa, you know how they don't fight with fists. He said they use magic. He said they sit up there, they want to hurt somebody. They said all they need is your name and your picture. Your eyesight is gone. He said still over there in Africa, they still their old traditions that they so-called demonizing in the Bible, saying it's witchcraft. And I asked him, bro, I said, well, why do they call it witchcraft? Because he said it works. They know it works.
Mm.
will take you from your godlike state done down to an artificial state. Instead of you using magic, they give you guns. Instead of using your third eye, instead of using your godlike entity like Christ and the Creator wanted you to use, they dumbed you down and gave you artificial weapons.
Crazy. Wow. Man. So look, as something else, I know I ain't gonna hold you up too much, my brother, but this is important, and I feel like I want to kind of touch on these two topics last. It does relate to everything we've been saying. So I'm gonna play this clip right here. It's not that long, and it basically gonna confirm my question. It's gonna ask the question for you without me having to ask.
Okay. All right.
Relating to transhumanism. Explain this to me. Let me turn it up. Okay. Now it's a little disturbing, but check it out. Let me see. It disconnected me. Okay. So basically that video is showing a soul, based on what they stating, a soul being trapped inside of a computer. And if we watch Space Jam, and you seen the new Space Jam with LeBron James and how he entered into the computer, what I'm trying to see is, can your soul be trapped inside of a chip? That's my question to the brother. Hopefully he tap back in. So what do y'all think? Can your soul be trapped inside of a computer? Now, Elon Musk is coming up with the metaverse. But what a lot of people did not catch in the video that he was advertising the metaverse was he didn't have on any goggles, people. He didn't have anything to connect him to this computer. But let's see what he does. I'm going to play the video for y'all. But can your soul be trapped inside of a computer? We know the difference between a soul and a spirit now. So can your soul be trapped inside of a computer? Now, where is this video? Bear with me, guys. Let me find this video. Where is it? Bear with me, people. Let me tap you back in, my brother. I'm looking for this video right now. Tap my brother back in. So can your soul be trapped inside of a computer? Now, let me find this Elon Musk video. Can you hear me, my brother?
Yeah, I think we got a little disconnected there.
Yeah, I see. So I was actually finna share this other video. Are you familiar with Elon Musk when he was basically announcing the metaverse?
Yeah.
Okay, but what a lot of people were not aware of was he didn't have on any RV goggles. He didn't have anything to connect him to this computer that he was actually inside of based on the commercial. So that leads me to think, what are they in the future planning to connect the human to artificial intelligence? What technology are they going to use to convert the human consciousness as well as the human mind, or body, however you want to put it, into this computer? How are they going to do that without it being trapped? And can it be trapped inside of this computer if they do it? And in reference to what I'm saying, do you remember the movie Space Jam that came out?
Right.
When LeBron James entered into this computer, and the only way he could get outside of this computer was to win this basketball game. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So all of this is, connecting to something. So tell me what you think, brother. Because I can't find a video right now. I'm looking for it. Can your soul be trapped inside of a computer?
As crazy as this sounds, because I think that's something to come eventually down the road. I think yes, in a way. It's kind of like if you look at the old movie Mortal Kombat, you remember Shang Tsung in the movie Mortal Kombat, he had the ability to take people's souls and trap them into his body.
Yeah, I
You
do.
see what I'm saying?
I remember that.
So this is kind of like they were doing with genetically modifying and making embryos. They even talking about bringing test tube babies. You see, the only way they can do that is by having the original genetics of a human being. So what they're gonna start doing is, what people don't realize, life is in the blood. Your soul resonates within your body, within the blood. So when they take your blood, that's a piece of your life force.
So anytime
see
you're
what I'm saying?
losing blood, you're losing life force.
You losing life force. Same thing where you start having if you have too much sex, and for men you keep releasing, you keep releasing cerebral spinal fluid. Each time you release, it's like losing 50 drops of blood. This is why a lot of times after having sex, you feel tired, you feel fatigued, you feel like you forgot something, you feel drained. You see what I'm saying? Because body is not meant for that. It's not meant for that. And this is why you have people who are sex addicts and things like that, because it's a false dopamine and a spiritual high. Because your energy rises from the bottom to the
Age of the human race. We're right back to where humanity was at the time of Noah.
As in the days of Noah.
Yes. When the Nephilim was changing humanity.
Right.
And Noah and his family were the only ones pure left on the planet. Right now, the only pure humans, when I say pure, I'm talking about humanity, DNA as made originally by God, unaltered by man's science.
150 animal-human hybrid embryos have been created by scientists working in British laboratories over the past 3 years. The creation of hybrid embryos was legalised by the 2008 Human Fertilisation and Embryology Act. Scientists claim the process could be used to develop embryonic stem cell treatments. These are different from adult stem cell treatments, which do not involve the destruction of human embryos. Critics have questioned the need for embryo research, saying it cannot be ethically justified. Details were revealed last week in a response to a parliamentary question by Lord Alton. The peer said, "At every stage, the justification from scientists has been, if only you allow us to do this, we will find cures for every illness known to mankind. This is emotional blackmail."
They love to say they're going to cure disease in order to pass these.
The most interesting place today from a religious perspective is Silicon Valley. My bet is this is where the new religions of the 21st century are being created, will be created, and these will be kind of techno-religions, religions based on technology, religions that make all the old promises of Christianity and Judaism and Hinduism and so forth. They will also promise happiness and prosperity and justice and even eternal life, but here on earth with the help of technology, and not after we die with the help of superhuman beings. And in a way, I would say that we've already seen the first big techno-religion in history in previous century, and this was socialism.